Hello everybody, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I haven't bought anything for a while, so this will be my out-of-the-box review for Barbarossa to Berlin. I actually bought this, I don't know, 3-4 years ago because I was afraid it was going to go out of print and I wouldn't be able to get it. So I bought it, and finally my game table is clear. This is the game. This is the learning table. I learn new games here, and then I play them with other people later. So I decided, well, let's take out Barbarossa to Berlin. I've heard good things about it, so I wanted to try it out. Before I started, I did the usual GMT thing. I printed out the living rules. I don't know if the living rules are any different than the game itself, because it's 2006 and 2006. So I heard there was a out-of-the-box review that I watched recently where the guy literally said nothing, zero. He opened it up, showed you, boom, and done. It was done in a minute. I was like, well, that's great, but I don't know, I'd like to hear something, say something. So I said something like that, and somebody came back and said, well, I'd rather not hear anybody prattle on. Oh, this is the rules, and these are the counters. I'm like, so I decided that, well, in case I'm boring somebody over there, I decided I'd have some wine here. So I got a little wine going. So it doesn't. So I'm not so worried about, whether I'm boring anybody. Because if you've had a little wine, you don't care whether you bore anybody or not. So here we go, out of the box review. I know nothing about this game other than it's the card-driven grand strategy level game for World War II in Europe, and that you had me at card driven. So thank you, Mark Herman, for creating the card driven war game era. I didn't like him at first, but I like him now. Let's see what's in here. There's a free game in here. Start small, defying the odds. Alright, I don't really get the name of the game here. Battle of, it's got Mortain on there, Mortain. So I got a free copy of the Battle of Mortain on there from the friendly folks at Against the Odds. I think that's the Against the Odds magazine. I'll take a look at it later. Here's the cards. So I'm prattling on about the cards. I'm gonna have a little wine. Maybe we can make a drinking game out of this. Alright, so the cards. I'm looking at the cards right now. They're very beautiful. It reminds me a bit of Empire of the Sun, with kind of like the events that you have here, like the Von Paulus Pause and Panzer Group Guderian, some of the operations, Operation Torch, things like that. Fall Blue, Case Blue that is, or Operation Blue. Got a bonsai card in here. Not sure what that's about. I will find out one of these days. Actually, this is going on the table right away. I'm going to be learning this. I'm going to be setting this game up as soon as I'm done. I won't keep the tape running while we're doing that. I know you'd kill me for that. 2 dice. Very nice dice. Some baggies. That'll go with my baggie collection. I generally use the counter trays. These are some huge counters. Nice counters. I like the big counters. They're thin, which is what some of the people say about GMT games. A little thin, but hey, I don't really need thick counters. But the big ones are nice, especially, as we age as gamers. It's nice to be able to see the counters and the printing on them. So they got big counters and little counters. These counters are definitely bigger than these, and I'm not sure why that is, but and double-sided, of course. Maybe it's the difference between like armies and corps, kind of like in Paths of Glory. I played Paths of Glory. It's another good game. Nice thick cardstock here for the chart. The chart is almost the same thickness as the counters. Fire tables and terrain effect chart, special unit summaries. Very nice. My favorite part of any unboxing operation is the map. I love the visuals. So let's see how much of this I can show to my studio audience here. That's pretty good. So that's what you get to see. I'm looking at all white. It's white on the back. So I'm going to flip it so I can see what's going on here. All the way from England to all the way to the Ural Mountains. They got space for Turkey, so I guess it's possible for you to bring some of these neutrals into the war. Turkey, Sweden, they have space. They have the little squares for them. Those are the two neutral countries that I noticed. There's no squares for Switzerland, so Switzerland can't play. I'm looking at these letter things here and thinking those are invasion squares for the Allied Amphibious Invasion Force. So yeah, it's interesting. They have the hypothetical invasion of Norway and Greece, which were some things that were discussed but never done. Looks like the Desert War is well covered. Very excited. I can't wait to get into this. Which, as I mentioned, I'm going to do in a minute. So I'm prattling on, so I'm going to have a drink of wine. It's really only white Zinfandel, and most people will say that's not even really wine. It's not even really alcohol. So it's just the end of a long day that's doing this. So version 1.3, version 1.3. I apparently now have an extra set of rules just for identical rules. Just for the next time I get to play against somebody, I can say, here's your copy of the rules. So I just noticed that this is a Ted Racier game. He's the gentleman that wrote Paths of Glory. So I expect to see some of the Paths of Glory style influence on that. Paths of Glory was an excellent game. There was one problem for me with that game, is that I played the Allies, I held France, I held Russia, Russia didn't collapse, France didn't collapse, German advance was minimal, I lost most of Italy and I lost the war. I'm like, how does that work? So that was my big beef with Paths of Glory, and I'm rambling now. The other Ted Racier game that I've played is Reds, and Reds has some definite issues with the where you can advance, where you can move your you can play the game, but you can never get it to, you can never get the whites where they're doing well enough that they're doing as good as their historical counterpart. So that's 0 for 2 for Ted on being able to duplicate the effectiveness of the historical counterparts. I'm hoping that we're not 0 for 3. I have high hopes here, and I've heard good things about the game. So so that's everything. So hope everybody enjoys, and have a glass of wine for me. We'll talk to you next time I open a game.